Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, brought to you by the Hard Truth Distilling Company in Brown County, Indiana.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, it's time!
3 on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Float game for the win! Taylor's gone. Come on, touchdown, Indy! Woo! IU! America! They got a football team now!
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, from the Hard Truth Studios, here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios on this Tuesday, and I think we got everything lined out. It's AJ Moye joining me from Valpo. How's it going, my friend?
Man, hold on, man. Look. Hey, I'm brand new to all of this, all of the technology. Man. It was something so simple, but I'm glad I figured that out.
Well, it usually is. We're always looking for so many different things. It ends up being something simple, but doesn't matter. We got you now. It's all that matters. First of all, how have you been? How's the family doing?
Oh man, the family's wonderful. Everyone's doing great, and it's recruiting season, so you know what I mean. I'm busy, man. All day long, I'm on these phones. All day long, I'm getting out in front of kids and just telling them about Valpo and telling them about our values. And we're a program, man. You know, believe it or not, man, my coach is a reverend, like literal, ordained. So, you know what I mean? It's a program where it's a heavy emphasis on character development, and there's a heavy emphasis on player development. And our players are doing some pretty amazing things. And so just keep going. I mean, we doubled our win total +1 last year, and shoot, if we do that again next year, that'll be awesome. But so that's the goal, man. We're trying to complete a roster, and it's shaping up pretty good right now. And we're in play for some pretty good players, some great players. A couple of players I feel that really be momentum shifting and just great players. So it's real. It's kind of static this time of year because, I mean, April to July, man, you're just trying to find the best pieces that fit and the best pieces that can, play with your head coach. Because at the end of the day, I'm always trying to find guys that fit our head coach's vision. And as long as everything can align and match up, man, it's always fun.
Yeah, what's the transition? You were out at the Mamba Academy for quite some time, and that's coaching as well. And you've been a coach before, but what's the transition to being a college assistant been like for you?
Oh man, hey, I'll tell you this, man. I know Roger Powell can attest to this. Quentin Garrison, he has the office right next to mine, and he can attest to this. I mean, Pat Baldwin can attest to this. Matt Gordon can attest to this. But for me, man, it was I wouldn't say it was difficult, but it was definitely eye-opening. You know what I mean? Because before I was a player in college, and I was a pretty good player, and I was a player who was only locked in on what I was doing. You know, I was locked in on everyone else, but I was strictly about, getting my work in, making sure the other guys are working, and then just locking in on a game plan. So from being a college coach, the difference is there's no off switch, right? We had downtime to rest, downtime like to, lock in. This is ongoing. And then the nature of the beast, it's totally changed. It's not like when I was in college. It's totally changed. There's probably like 13 to 14 to 15 more intricate details and things that just boom, boom, boom. It's constantly changing. You know what I mean? So I think at first it wasn't difficult. Like on the court, I get it. And but off the court, that part of it was like, whoa, you know what I mean? But I'm in a great groove right now, and loving it. And the thing is, I'm a people person, so I was always, good with anything. I can adapt to anything thrown at me. But now it's like there's a level of expectation, right? Healthy level of expectation, and I can respond to any challenge, no matter the situation, because I've been in enough of those situations throughout the course of these 2 years.
Well, yeah, and it's a lot of constant work. We know how much coaches work, how long they work, and now that's probably been extended because of the portal, although it's probably a little less travel, but 10 times the players that you're chasing.
A little less travel. No, the travel. The travel is something that it took me a while to get used to, the travel. And we're always in and out of time. I'm telling you, when you get to conference season, man, you're playing 2-3 games a week, and it's just boom, boom, you're here, you're there, you're here, you're there. I remember, I think during one period we were going like 9-10 days in a row, man. So it's like, that's heavy, but just the aspect of, just developing young men, caring about these young men, and doing everything you can. It's like you got a lemon, and you got to squeeze every last drop out of it, right, in order to make the best batch of lemonade that you could possibly conjure up. So
you were at the state finals this past weekend, and first of all, what a bunch of great games to watch.
I mean, phenomenal, man. Hey, so guess what? That was my first time ever going to the state finals. I remember I watched the state finals game when I was a senior in high school, Jared Jeffries versus Zach Randolph. Now, that was a game, and boy, Zebo went off on my boy. But no, these were crazy. I was at all four, and I was just totally blown away by the execution, the discipline, the awareness of the game plan, right? It was carried out to a T by every single team, all four games. And just the passion and the intensity. It's great to see. Like I was telling DeVries, right? We were sitting by each other. And I told him, I say, hey, it's a difference here. And he's like, I said, you see the difference? And he's like, yeah. I said, man, in 49 other states, it's basketball, but this is Indiana. It's religion. It's a way of life.
And it definitely was an indoctrination, because the 4A game, which is the biggest game of the day, but that place, it was pretty full. It was about 75% full. With
that thing was full.
All the way to the
thing
top.
Was full. That thing was completely full. That last game, the third game, it was probably about 85 to 92. That last game, it was full. I kept looking up at the rafters, it was full. That thing was full crazy. To me anyway.
Fun, a great night, but those games were very, very good. They came down, they were close, they were battles. There were great players in all of them. Players that are, well, some that are available, by the way. I'm sure you know about that.
I don't know anything, man.
I can't mention any names. That's so funny. In this day and age of all that's going on, the one thing you can't do is mention a recruit's name, which I think is so stupid.
Mention a who?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just one of the, I'm like, all the things you can do, and that's what you can't do.
I mean, I think nowadays I would love to see it now, and I know it's tricky, but I think the NCAA, I think they just need to revamp the entire legislation with the rules and just kind of get them under a more of a firm grip, because I mean, with the nature of how things are operating nowadays, I mean, the amateurism thing is totally out the window. I mean, you can, if you want to call it that, you can call it that. But nowadays, I just think it's we need to make it more of
Professional?
Not a profession, but just make the rules that are more aligned than with the fact that these players are getting paid. So
I agree. And I think eventually they will. It's we'll see where it goes to. You mentioned meeting Coach Darian DeVries, the Indiana's new coach there. What are your takes on Coach DeVries so far?
Oh man, well, my first year in the league, he was coaching Drake. So played against him 2 times. I think he's excellent. I love his offensive flows, his offensive game plan. I love his identity. Defensively, they do some pretty aggressive things, but aggressive in the manner of everyone just pays attention into their own personal, agenda or their own personal details, and it just kind of correlates. But I love him offensively. I love his demeanor. You know what I mean? He's always calm, always, encouraging, seems to be upbeat. But no, man, he seems to be a remarkable coach, great guy, but, other than that, man, go Valpo.
Oh, absolutely. No, we're not going to slight Valpo
Yeah.
We'll shout out Valpo, and you can come on anytime you want and scream the virtues of the Crusaders, right?
Oh man, we're the Beacons now. Beacons, man, shining that light, man. See the light, baby. See the light.
What was wrong with Crusader that it needed to be changed?
I have no idea. I think that so it wasn't this president. It was the president before. As soon as they got the job, they changed the name, and it was just because it was during that time period where they were changing names of things that were upsetting, and so the Crusaders. Why it's a great cause to get behind Crusaders. When you really study the Crusaders, you get to see some of the stuff the Crusaders did. So I know some people were rubbed the wrong way, and we're not trying to be offensive to anyone. So the president went ahead and changed the name to the Beacons. Me and Coach, we really love the name the Beacons because me and Coach are both, Christian men, and the beacon has meaning, so.
Well, that's probably the best name change. Usually they're stupid. They when people change names, they go to something dumb. That's great. It makes sense. It's a beautiful thing. And I know we'll talk more about Valpo, but since you have experience playing, also there was a couple of guys there, Drew Adams and Nick Norton. Now, did you know those guys prior to?
Well, of course I knew Drew. His father, Mark,
I figured.
ran Indiana Elite for years. I've known Drew before Drew was even. I think Drew was a kid. You know what I mean? I know Drew isn't for like probably more than half his life. With Nick, man, I just met Nick officially, and me and Nick really hit it off. He's a great guy. I'm just that's who I am. I hit it off with everyone. Chris Collins was a real cool guy. I talk with people, man. I'm congenial, and so that's that. But I love both of them. Good
and thank you again for we're not ending coming on, but we're celebrating 2,000 shows this week. So
wow, man, that's impressive.
Coming on. Well, it just means I've been around too long, probably. But I appreciate you for always being so kind with your time. And so Indiana now with Darian DeVries, probably going to be a different style of play. You talked about having played against Darian DeVries when he was at Drake. I think, and I just had Alec Lasley on. We were talking about how he expects a much more perimeter-oriented style of offense.
Oh man, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be perimeter oriented or this or that. I see DeVries is a guy. He uses the full court. You know what I mean? He uses the the entire realm, the entire spectrum. There's going to be a lot of just great basketball type of plays that, in Indiana we love. It's going to be back screens. It'll be down screens. It'll be staggers. It'll be pin downs. It'll be flares. It'll be all type of stuff. But the cool thing about DeVries' offense is normally while you have that going on this side, there's another action going on the other side. So there's all these simultaneous actions that really make for some great basketball. And DeVries recruits tougher guards that defend, guards that really get in you, and all of his guards can shoot the basketball. His teams normally his teams they're full of guys that can shoot the basketball, and I feel that was something that could have been insinuated or something that could have been heightened over the course of the past 4 or 5 years. So
Dana, you're one of her all-time favorites, but then again, how could you not be? I hate to bring this up every single time, but it is one of my absolute favorite. Oh man, why didn't that not come in there? I believe that's why I've got to rearrange us. So, it's in the background. We can't see it. Man, that should have been an overlay.
I know what it is.
And I'm going to leave it in the background there. Yeah, every time I see it, I'm like, that would be wallpaper in my house, the entire house.
I want that in my basement. I'm gonna get it in my basement one day. It's just a wall, get an entire wall of the rejection.
It's greatest. It's one of the greatest photos ever. Unfortunately, it's not as clear with all of us in it. If I remove me, you can't hear me, which people would like that. I did it quickly. I took me out and then you out, and you can see that's AJ blocking Carlos Boozer, whose sons are playing in Indianapolis this week, AJ, at the Chipotle Nationals. How crazy is that? Time-wise.
To me, yeah, it's surreal. Me and Boozer follow each other on Instagram or whatever, and it's surreal. But man, to their Caden and Cameron's credit, man, those guys have been working, man. I've been watching those guys work, man, probably for like the past 8-9 years. You know what I mean? Because you got Instagram now, you can watch, you can see. But I've seen those guys work. Those guys put in a lot of time, and those guys compete. So I know that Carlos was very instrumental in their development and very supportive, man. He's a loving father, man. He's a great guy. And, man, kudos to him because he was always a hard worker. So,
they're very talented as well.
Man, they're extremely talented.
As their father was.
Yeah, they're extremely talented.
Now I got it up there. So now we can see it. It's behind and in front. We're getting AJ Moye to death, baby. There's never been so much AJ Moye on the show as there is right now. There, it's up there. So what's up next for you and at Valpo?
What's up next for me? Man, just to continue to get us better, man. I'd say with me, man, this year, man, I'm expecting us to get 20 plus wins. I'm expecting us to compete for a league title. I'm expecting us to win that tournament. I'm expecting us to get to the second weekend in the NCAA. That's me. I'm always a guy who sees the very best. And fortunately for me, most of the time it ends up being that way. But I'm a big guy believing in will, man. God
will it to happen, man. Will it to happen.
God's blessed me in my life, and that's what I believe in, man. You just have to have that will to go after your dreams and chase them each day.
I've got 30 seconds. How about our buddy Sharon?
Oh, well, I love Sharon. Sharon's one of my closest friends in life. I'm about to hop on a call with him here as soon as I'm done talking with you. But
he was on with us yesterday,
I love Sharon, man. I'm happy.
So happy.
Happy
ecstatic.
Mm-hmm.
Ecstatic. Enjoy it. Really, really, really appreciate you. Love you guys. Love you for coming on, man. You're always the best. Anything I can ever do for you, just let us know, man.
All right, man. Take care, Jim.
Thank you, AJ Moye, joining us here on the program. It's going to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody for joining us today. We're back tomorrow with lots more. Don't forget, go to www.on3.com/teams/Indiana-Hoosiers. You'll be able to connect with the Hoosier.com itself later on today. That's going to wrap it up. You guys go out, have yourselves a great day. We're back tomorrow to do it again. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.